Here is what we're going to do with the trail camera data lab once we finish working on it in class. You will be making a short Google Slides presentation, which will showcase your observations, research question, hypothesis, results, and conclusions. And what we're going to do with this is once everyone turns them into me on October 6th, what I will do is I will send them all out to you so you can take a look at them, look at everybody's research project results and conclusions in a virtual gallery walk. So you won't have to worry about standing in front of the room and presenting in front of your peers. So it'll all be virtual. What I have done to help you get started is I have included a template for your presentation. You are more than welcome to make a copy of this and fill in your own information if you like, or you can use your own Google Slides presentation with your own template. Just make sure you have everything included. There's also the rubric attached. So in your slideshow, you need to make sure you have your observations and question. So you want to make sure it's clearly identified with several observations listed, which led to the question. If you only put like one observation, we need a little bit more than that in order to get the 4. Background sources. You want to make sure you cite them in MLA format. The background research assignment that you have today will help you get started with finding your background sources and citing them, but you want to make sure you include your citations in your Google Slides presentation. And you want to make sure you're not just copy pasting the information from these sites. You want to reword and paraphrase the information. You need to include your hypothesis. So hypothesized relationship between the variables and the predicted results is clear and is reasonable based on what has been studied in the background research. So you want your if, then, because hypothesis. Your data. It's going to be really easy to get your data in there. All you need to do is just copy paste the graph that we made together in class from your Google Sheets. You want to make sure that includes titles, axis labels, and then the conclusion. You want to make sure you state whether or not your hypothesis was supported, and you want to discuss possible limitations of the experiment or sources of error in the experiment. And I provide an example for how to do this. So in the assignment, I also attached an example slideshow. This was the example that I did as we sort of walked through how to pull out data from the Gorongosa program. So we have just a title slide with your name on it. Observations, just some bullet points of some of the observations you made that led to your experimental question. And what I did, and I strongly encourage you do this too, is I just copied some of the images from the Gorongosa lab just to add visuals to the presentation. I have my research question. I have some bullet points about the background research. I also included a picture. This was right from the Gorongosa interactive map. And then I have my hypothesis and predictions. So in the limestone gorge vegetation type, I will find more animals in photos during the dry season than during any other season because they are attracted to the water and the green vegetation that are scarce in other areas. So I have my independent variable, which are the seasons. I have my dependent variable, which are the number of animals in the photos. And I have why I think I'm going to get those results. Next, I have the graph. I have just a short summary of my results in bullet points. And then I have the graph that was created in Google Sheets. You can just copy paste the graph that we make together in class to the slideshow. I have a title and axis labels. And then I have conclusions. So I say whether or not my prediction was correct, and then I include some limitations, like, that the area that we researched was really far from humans, so it might not be water that the animals are heading towards, but they're trying to avoid humans. And then just a matter of the experimental designs, just more animals show up near water because that's where the camera traps were placed. If more camera traps were placed in the limestone gorge area but further away from water, we might see the same amount of animals or fewer animals. And then finally, I have my citation here. So your Google Slides presentation should look something like this. So this grade is going to count as your first project. And remember, projects are the same as tests. They're worth 35% of your grade. And progress reports are right around the corner, so you want to make sure you do this and you do it on time. You have today to work on it, Wednesday the 30th. You will have time to work on it during our next class meeting, and you will have time to work on it at home on your own. So it's due next Tuesday. So I would take Wednesday the 30th to start filling in the information that you already have, like your hypothesis, your research question, and your background information. And then once we collect the data and make the graphs in class, then you can work on the results and conclusion sections. But don't wait until the last minute to get this done because you will have other assignments that will be posted for you to work on while you are remote. If you have any questions, please send me an email or bring them with you to class.